How did this firefighter, who is also a student, make $17,000 on his most recent deal? Stand by. Let's get it. Hello guys, this is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today is another one of those great days where a student, my man Kendall, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, hit me up yesterday with a picture of a check with 17,000 big ones on it. Always good to see that. And he agreed to share his story to hopefully help anyone that's watching this now or obviously in the future. So what's going on, Kendall?
Not too much, man. Having a pretty good day. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Kendall is a little unique in the way he got started in wholesaling because he was already doing rehab. So what we'll do is I want to just ask Kendall as far as, well, basically some history on how you got started in real estate, the point that you say, hey, I'm doing some flips, but I want to add wholesaling to it. So I guess the initial question would be, what were you doing before real estate and how did you get interested in that timeline?
All right, well, the last few years I've been, I was a firefighter for 4.5 years. So I've been doing that full time. And then I wanted to get into real estate. I think back when I was 18, I always wanted to flip houses. So then right when I got about 20, I actually got started in doing rehabs. So Dan Merrill had a conference that came to town back then. That was probably 9 years ago.
Okay.
And they spoke about wholesaling and I heard about it and I got the books and everything. I paid like $200 for the initial package event. But right in that first conference, they said $40,000 and you can get this package and go forth. And me being in my early 20s, I'd never even seen that kind of money. So, to me, I was out of the picture. What recently happened was this past year, Damon John had an event, his success formula. So I went to that and they had a real estate section that happened after that, that I stayed for. And that speech just kind of motivated me so much because I knew that I wanted to go to the next level. I wanted to flip a little bit faster, do more deals. And so I ended up getting that package and just moving forward through that course. So after getting that training, I started.
But before you go any further, so, well, I guess I missed your timeline. You say you how old now?
I'm 28 now.
Okay, you started. What age were you when you did your first flip? I had to get this in. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you are alerted whenever I go live on YouTube on my Thursday night flipinars and whenever I upload new videos. Make sure if you're on Instagram, follow me, flipman.net. That's flipman, DOTNET, flipman.net on Instagram. I do have the private Facebook group that you can join. Just go to Facebook and search for Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flip Man. Dealulator.com. Make finding deals easier, building cash buyers list, and targeting motivated sellers. Also, if you like podcasts, flipmanpodcast.com, whether you have an Android or an Apple device. Mail2flip.com. Stop leaving money on the table with direct mail. Become a little bit more unique. Crush your competition with direct mail. That's mail2flip.com. Now back to the video.
23. And I got lucky on that one. I had bought a house, a rental from auction.com. Needed no work at all. I had held on to it for about 2 years and I sold it and made $35,000 off of that. So
how much did you pay for that property?
I got it for I think $34,000.
$34,000. So the ARV was what, around 70 or something, or what?
No, ARV then was maybe 60.
Okay.
ARV on it now is 120. So if I'd held on to now, I would have made pretty good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I guess the question is, because a lot of people starting here, they don't have the resources to start out buying, fixing, and flipping. Which I just did a post on Instagram, probably do a video here, wholesaling versus flipping or whatever. But where did your resources and money come from to be able to buy? You say 35,000?
Yeah. The first one was from my dad.
Yeah, where did those resources come from?
Yeah, I took a loan from my dad. Was the first one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's a good place to get a loan from.
Yeah, dad. My dad has always been in apartment complexes and single family homes. So I always had a background in construction because he did all the work himself.
Okay.
He was the type where he thought you do everything, you learn as much as you can, you don't have to pay nobody.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that the time that it took for him to do that, that's what I didn't want to spend.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got. Oh, well, so you grew up in real estate. Were you interested in it growing up, or was it one of those things your dad drug you along whether you wanted to go or not?
No, it was more so wanting the freedom. When I first got out of high school, when you're in high school, all you and your friends, you're on the same schedule, y'all hang out all the time. The moment you graduate, you got people working third shift, second shift, and someone first, So I realized then that working a job was just a rat race, and that's kind of where it kind of pushed for me. So
Okay.
Real estate was kind of more so the freedom, being able to do what I wanted to do, and just having that luxury of time.
Okay, so you started flipping at 23. So obviously you were making money. So how long have you been full time just real estate?
Since last August.
Okay, so you still were a firefighter?
Yeah, I was still a firefighter. This is all in the same timeline. So I was working in the fire department. We work, every other day.
Yeah.
And we get extra days off. So it allowed me the time to be able to work on the projects and going from there.
Okay. So how many flips did you think you've done, I guess, in those 5 years? How many do you think you did? Not wholesale deal, but actual just flips?
4.
4? Okay. All right. Okay. So Chattanooga, what's the population of Chattanooga? Maybe 200,000, 300 maybe?
No, I think we're about between 500,000 and 600,000 now.
Okay.
Growing tremendously.
Okay. All right. That's a big sign market. Okay. So, all right. So did you even know about wholesaling before you went to any of those events? You went to
No.
Fortune Builders, Than Merle. So you didn't know wholesaling existed.
And then
were you ever a part of a wholesale deal and didn't know you were, thinking back, or you always got them from realtors or something?
I had no clue what I was doing, to be honest.
All right. Okay. So you went to the Than Merle thing. You saw the 40 grand. That's Fortune Bill. They hit you with the 197.
Yeah.
Then you go to the 3-day event that is a 3-day. Well, you go to free. Then you go to the 197 or 297 event. That's 3 days. And then they pounding you with the upsell of the $25,000 package, $40,000, whatever.
Back then, they didn't even have the step ups. They just had it's either 40,000 or nothing. Now they do it to where you pay 1,000 here, you pay 5,000 there, and they kind of work you up, upselling that way.
Yeah, the hustle is real, boy.
Yeah.
But so that wouldn't work for you. And so the next thing. So the Damien John thing came, and I guess they just talk about just making money in general, and then they have a real estate section of the seminar or whatever.
Yeah, because his book, I think it was one of his books, spoke on the 7 pillars of wealth, and 2 of those pillars are real estate. So that was kind of like the cornerstone of it. So that's why he added that section to it. And you could either choose to do the entrepreneurship side, where you're marketing a brand, or you could choose the real estate side. So since I'd already been in real estate, that's the route I took.
Okay. So did they talk about wholesaling? Does he talk about wholesaling his thing, or? They
didn't really speak about wholesaling, but when you go to the next pack, the advanced training, it was all about wholesaling.
Okay. Well, what did you pay for that?
That was $2,000 for that next pack.
Okay. All right. So fast forward, I guess you stumbled on to me, probably searching for somebody else or whatever. What was your first introduction to, the content that I put out there on YouTube, Facebook, wherever?
I was advertising. I got 100, 200 plus videos, free knowledge, training, all that. So, because after the advanced training, I felt like I got enough to understand wholesaling, but I'm the type of person, I'm more hands-on. So, you know, if you tell me how to fly a plane all day long and I get in the airplane, I'm not going to know how to fly it, you know. I still need that hands-on. I need to watch somebody, you know, do it. You know, I could read books and stuff. I'm more a visual learner as well. So just, you know, trying to invest in my education. I came across you. You popped up, and I kept seeing your little character running across my YouTube. The next thing I know, I started getting tons of emails and stuff coming in, and end up watching your videos.
But you know what though? You signed up in July. I know it's going to be a little different for you because you already saw it in the real estate. A lot of the lingo stuff is not going to be challenging or whatever. You signed up in July, and I'm looking through my text thing. Now, you may have called me, but normally most people do by text, students do. We haven't, let's see, we didn't talk until we haven't spoken since November. So,
I started doing deals, man, and then
hey, you didn't need me, man.
When I called you,
I get my information. Is it that thorough?
You're when I called you, it was an accident. I kept seeing you say, "Call me if you need advice, if you need talk, you know, whatever." So I typed your number. I was meaning to text you, and I accidentally called. I wasn't paying attention. I heard you answer. I was like, "What's going on?" And then you spoke. So I was like, "Man, this guy really answers his phone." So at that point, I was sold, and that's why I bought it, the course.
Oh, so I guess the course, and what I mean by that is that, you know, I'm talking about we haven't communicated much since you bought the course. You know,
right.
Doing deals. So I guess the course for you, your experience, it filled in some holes for you where some people, they don't know nothing about real estate. So the mentoring and stuff is more valuable to them or whatever. So.
Correct.
But I know the check you sent me yesterday was $17,000, and we'll get into that one. But and you said that was the biggest one yet. So let's go to how did you find your first deal, and how did that process go, if you remember.
First deal was a bandit sign. So I went with the red and white and blue, like you said. So. Back in August is when I had quit my job. So
you quit. Well, you already had a war chest. You was good. But go ahead though.
Yeah, I always save. You know, I always make sure that I have enough savings to where, you know, I don't advise anybody just to quit their job and just, you know, if you don't have something set up or established. But I really quit for the strength of how many calls I was getting a day from the bandit signs. I haven't even did a wholesale deal yet.
All right. Well, let's get to the bandit sign real quick. So. Some cities, people say, well, you can't put bandit sign, they take them down, blah, blah, blah. So I guess you can get away with them in Chattanooga.
For the most part. I mean, with election time just passed. I mean, you can't discriminate, you know, against my sign and everybody else is posting their signs, you know?
Yeah. So what type of neighbor? So I'm trying to just go through this because it helps people, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So you bought the bandit signs, and how many did you initially purchase?
I bought 100 on my first one.
100, and those are 18 by 24?
The 9 by 18, I think, is what I bought first.
Okay, but so those are the larger ones there. Okay. All right, so when you put the signs, how many did you put all 100 of them out, or how did you go about that?
I think I did 50 the first time. First night I went out, and then I think when I got home, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited that I was just waiting for a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I went back out and put the rest of the 50 up.
Oh, wow. The hustle is real, man. You know what I'm talking about.
I had a ladder. I threw it in the back of my truck, and I was up there with a screwdriver running around doing that all night. So
Okay. So how did the calls go? When did you start receiving calls?
The very next day. I literally got 6 to 10 calls every day.
Oh, man. That's a lot. Oh, yeah. So, but you're not the only one putting bandit signs out. The other people got bandit We Buy Houses signs in that area?
The thing about it is I never noticed bandit signs until I started doing it. And then when I learned about the zip tie thing from you, there's like 8 or 10 other wholesalers that started doing the same exact thing I was doing. Wherever I post my signs, they post theirs. So
the copycat game is real. Now, I'm a great copycatter myself now. I might put my little twist on it because I got the zip tie thing from a guy here locally. Matter of fact, Brian, who runs a real estate investment club here, well, I should have put his name out there like that, but anyway, but I think he's good. But anyway, he used to do bad inside. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's say that. So, but anyway, I'm like, oh man, that's brilliant, because what the zip ties or cable ties will do for you, they allow you to place signs in areas that normally that are great areas that you may not be able to place. But there's not a wooden pole there. I'm not a big stake guy, because I want my signs to be eye level traffic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where the maximum number of people can see it from a distance, and depending on where they're located at in traffic. So when you do the cable ties, it just gives you so much more flexibility. So you started getting all those calls, man, and you already know how to negotiate. So that wasn't a big deal for you or whatever. So how did your first deal come about?
It came from the bandit sign.
So what was the situation on that particular seller?
Situation was, seller was from out of town. She was from Atlanta, and she was up here because she was having surgery. And apparently she owned like 6 or 7 properties that were basically given to her when her ears passed. So she had this property that she wanted to get rid of. ARV on it was, I think, 120. And it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in a subdivision of all houses that were 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay.
So this house was basically just out of place where it was sitting.
Okay.
But because of the comps, I kind of marketed it, and I think I texted you about it, asking you what you thought.
Well, what did you negotiate it down to?
She wanted $90,000 up front. So obviously, I got it for $50,000.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, how did you haggle her down that to 50?
Well, actually, see, I messed up, because whenever you're talking to a seller, you always want to give a range, right? But don't give a range of your top number being what you can actually be your max offer. What I messed up was, I was like, well, I can give you 40 to 50. She's like, oh, well, 50 sounds really good. And I was like, man, I should never said, I should just shot low and said 30 and kind of get in her mind, well, maybe he don't want to pay too much for it. So we kind of got stuck at 50.
Oh, wow. So yeah, cause that's why, if I can, I want them to give me their least amount, because she accepted that 50 so fast.
Yeah.
Knew she would have accepted something less than that amount.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's fine. Pig gets fed, hog gets slaughtered.
The main thing about it is you can't force a deal to happen, but you have to be able to read the motivation.
Exactly.
And I knew she was very motivated, but like I said, me just being my first deal, I kind of messed up, but I learned from it. I learned a lot from that first deal.
Okay, so you got her under contract for $50,000. She was an out of town owner from the ATL, and so what did you put it back out there for?
I put it back out for $65,000.
Okay, all right. How did you market it?
Craigslist.
Craigslist only?
Yes, just Craigslist. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how many calls you think you received from potential buyers?
I would say close to 20.
Okay. Were you keeping their information for future deals, or how were you handling that?
I did not. What I learned now in my experience now is that keeping track of everything and having systems and processes in place is very important. Because I had a notebook, and then sometimes I write on scratch piece of paper. They call me, I'm driving, and I pull over, and I lose the paper, can't find it. That whole deal. So, there's some sellers that I should have followed up with that I couldn't find their number, and then a month later I found the paper that I had wrote their number down on. So, staying organized, keeping track of your leads, keeping track of your buyers, all that stuff is very important to do.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm actually working on that myself, and that's 16 years in the game, and I've been horrible at it. I don't know how much money I left on the table, but that's why I know, as unorganized as I am, anybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so you had about 20 buyers to call. Did she give you a key, or how were you accessing the property?
She had her next door neighbor that was there had a key to the property, so she's the one that actually showed me the property.
Okay.
So
how were you handling that with buyers?
Because I had the key, I just told the lady, I'll have my contractors coming in, looking, inspecting the property, and so forth. So, if you see us over here, that's what we're doing.
All right. Okay. So tell me about the buyer that stepped forward. You knew he was going to be serious, and how that negotiations went.
Yeah. Well, see, this deal turned into a 2-month closing.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
This is what the problem was. I had a buyer that wanted to buy for $2,500, and I had another wholesaler call my ad, and then end up knowing that it was one of my friends from high school that we used to play ball together.
Oh, you say $2,500? What do you mean?
That would have been my spread.
Oh,
So
you mean you would have flipped it for 52.5?
For 55, yeah.
55?
Well, yeah, it would have been 52, but basically, I was telling you about the second part of it. So,
Okay, go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
The first buyer would have been under contract and made $2,500 on it.
Okay.
But the week, 2 days before, my friend that called me, he was already wholesaling. I had no clue about it. So he called my ad because he was scraping through Craigslist and trying to find deals. And then he was like, I got a buyer right now that buys all our rental properties. He'll definitely buy this one for 60 from you. Okay. So I was like, well, take the 2,500 or get $5,000 and split 50-50. So I was like, well, I'll take the $5,000, since my first deal.
Okay. Okay. So your friend from college from high school that was wholesaling.
Yeah.
He could get someone to pay $60,000. So that was $10,000. You always split it, 5,000 each. So what happened from there? Did you do any paperwork with him, or how did you all handle that?
So I signed a JV with them, and they had a buyer that came up. I'm trying to remember why the deal took so long to close.
Was it a title issue, or the buyer had to get a hard money loan, or what was the situation?
No, there was my friend, his buyer that closes, he asked for extension of a month because he was buying other rentals from them, and he needed some time in between it before he could buy his next property. Is what happened.
Cash flow situation, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it got so delayed.
Okay. And, how did you handle the seller with that?
I had to do a lot of negotiating with her because she was starting to get upset because I was under contract with her for 30 days. So when that time started coming, I called my friend and he called his dispositions manager. And I was like, dude, I've already negotiated with this lady. She's starting to get agitated. She's ready to get this house sold. I was like, you're going to have to call her and figure this out. So he ended up calling her and stalling for like the next month until we got the deal closed. Yeah.
Okay, so you turn it on, let them handle it, okay, because they're the one got the goal. Okay, so all right, so rolling around the closing day. So how did that go around as far as setting up the title?
Title set it up. We turned in all our contracts. They got all the title work prepared, and they was like, hey, closing's at this time. We showed up. They did the transaction, and she was actually out of town, so it was just us and the buyer.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Okay, so I know you did. How many more deals have you done between that first one and the check you sent me on your picture of the check?
I've done 6 since then, and then I got 3 lease option deals.
Okay.
I started studying lease options and subject twos.
Okay, all right, that's what's happening.
Because I was getting so much traction and so much leads coming in, I realized I was throwing away a lot of my leads. I was like, there's got to be a way to monetize this. Because, we go with the standard ARV. Times 70% minus your repairs and then my fee.
Yeah.
But it was either you take my offer or nothing. And I was like, there has to be a better way. So that's when I started researching, how can I start converting these deals? And I came across lease options.
I got you. All right. So, I hate them, but anyway, that's another story for another day. So, let's talk about this deal. You got the 17,000. You made the 17,000 on. So that came from a bandit sign also.
This came from a bird dog.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Tell us about that.
Your video that you did on bird dogging. I downloaded that into an MP3 file and I put it on Facebook with a video from me of how to do bird dogging. And people were excited about it. I was like, you make $500, for finding these properties. So I had properties coming in like crazy from that. And
so you say you download the video, you put it on Facebook. What you did, I don't get what you're saying.
So I did a video, and basically I trained people how to bird dog from your audio clip.
Oh, okay. You let them just listen to that.
Yeah. So I didn't have to create new training. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. So I'll copy and paste and innovate all day long. So.
I don't even remember what I said on that video. It's so long ago. But anyway, but I know how to put bird dogs in the action or whatever. So, all right. So you got it from a bird dog. So how did that go?
So the bird dog, he does roof sales. So he knocks on doors. Oh, wow. And so he'll go around the city, knock on doors, and try to get.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's always knocking doors. So he came across the property, and he put me in touch with the seller as well. So I went over there. House was in great shape. If it was me, I'd put maybe $25,000 worth of work in it. The ARV on it was $225.
225. What you get in the contract for?
118.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the thing about it, the seller only wanted 115. They owed 113 on it, so it was still a lot more spread in there. But I was one of them to make some money because I like the win-win deals. You know, you make money, I make money. The cash buyer makes money. So.
All right. So how did you go about finding your buyer on that one?
So I had a ad that had my logo on it, my business card, and I posted on Craigslist and say, hey, you know, #1 source for wholesale deals, call now or join my list. So I had a Google form that, you know, people can click on and they can fill their information out. Mm-hmm. So it automatically uploads in that Google Drive. So basically I market to that list. So
okay. All right. Oh, because you just got a running ad on Craigslist to attract buyers or whatever. Okay.
That's correct.
So how did this, when the buyer that stepped forward that really, I guess, could pull the trigger on a property in that price range, so how did that negotiations go? Well, let me say this. You had it on the contract for, you say 118?
At 118.
What did you put it out? What did you advertise it for to your
138.
buyer? 138, so $20,000 spread. So how did those negotiations go with that particular buyer?
So this buyer, I sent out the email blast probably about 8 o'clock that night. He called me the next morning at like 7 a.m. Was like, hey, I'm leaving town today. He's like, I really need to see this property before I leave because he was going for a week. He didn't want to lose it. So we met at 8 o'clock in the morning at the property. And within 30 minutes, he made an offer at 135. So I didn't have to negotiate or do anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take him well, how much earnest money did he put up?
2,000.
2,000. Okay. Did you put it in your hand or he held it with the title company?
I had him send title company.
Okay. So, how long it took him to close?
A week because he was out of town for the week.
Okay.
So once he got back, we closed. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 weeks then. Okay. All right. So you had already done some closing. So even though it was a bigger check than normal for the wholesale deal, you know, you were excited.
I was nervous the whole time because a check this big, you never know. Because see, the cash buyer wasn't going to see this until the settlement statement.
No problem. Did you have any problems?
I didn't have no problems. I was nervous though.
He didn't have any problems because he's getting what he wanted.
Yep.
Getting what they wanted, and you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
You can always have outliers and unreasonable people that can exist, but for the most part, people know you're not doing this for free. They're satisfied with the price you all negotiated on both ends of it with a seller and buyer. You're overthinking it. People know. Again, you can always have the outlier, but for the most part, they just don't care. They get what they agree to deal. So that came from a bird dog. Your first deal came from bandit signs. So what are your intentions in the future with, you know, it sounds like you got enough bread to do a lot of different things marketing wise. What are your future plans as far as to step your game up even more on your marketing?
Yeah, so marketing wise, like I said, I'm building my systems now. Building my CRM, getting all my marketing lined up because I do mailers, direct mail. I also, you know, I got my car magnets I showed you before.
Yep.
These on the car. These got deals. They do work. And like, you know, other wholesalers always call my signs or my marketing, you know. Sometimes there's a lot of new people learning. You know, they hear from other instructors that, you know, call these numbers and they may be your cash buyers. So they usually ask me, you know, what do you think works better? Or what do you see works the most deals? And for me, everything works. It's just all about consistency.
Oh, yeah, you got to be consistent. No question about that.
If I'm not putting the signs out, they're not getting seen. You know, they do get taken down by city officials, but
that's cool.
I keep putting them up. You know, keep sending your mailers out. You know, I pull my list. You know, following your training. You know, show me how to operate list source. Because somebody had told me about list source, I had no clue how to navigate through that. You know,
got to go to day later, man. I don't know if I had day. You got to be on this because they offer you list, and you just go to the site. You'll see what I'm talking about. We'll talk about it later. You got to get up on that, Playboy. But, hey, man, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, man. I think it was a lot of good information that can help people that are beginning in this game. And your journey was a little different than most because you sort of grew up in real estate, but you still did your own thing. You didn't just lean on that or whatever. You still were trying to educate yourself in different ways or whatever. So anything you want to share with the folks before we let you go about your day and get some more bread?
Yeah, I would say, you know, get a lot of books, you know, keep studying, keep reading. I try to I know they say most millionaires read 52 books a year or 60 books a year. That's breaks down to about a book a week. So that's what I'm pushing for. You know, I'm very big on education because the more I'm learning, the better I can be as far as investing. You know, I do a lot of sales, self-development books. You know, there's books on psychology, just understanding the mindset of sales. You know, sales is the number one thing about, you know, we're in real estate, but we're actually marketers.
Oh yeah, no question. You're a marketer. That's it. Your objective every day is to generate lead. That's why I talk about it so much, man. You know, keep that phone ringing. You know, you have no idea what you're doing and stumble into a check. You know, that's the business. Yeah. So, man, again, Kendall, man, I really appreciate you sharing your time with us, man. And anybody out there, again, you know, the videos are free. Taking advantage of. He took to the next level, signed up with the courses and coaching, but you don't have to do that. You just take advantage of the free videos. It's all there. So again, man, I really appreciate you sharing your time with us, man. And people will see you on the flip side. The ends grind and stack.